So we were talking about earlier about techniques for voice acting. So what are like the best techniques to focus on? Like I know that some people say your breath control, mic presence, and stuff like that. So what are the key ones to focus on? And can you also use singing as a way to train yourself for voice acting?
Oh, that is excellent. I don't know if you could hear him, but he was asking about specific techniques to work on for voice acting and particularly singing. I'm not a trained singer, and I'm really not a great singer either, but I have noticed that a lot of voice actors are singers, and that seems to be a very useful skill. One of the big things about not just voice acting in general, but specific to dubbing of something that's pre-existing, ADR, there's a big part of it that's timing. There are some people that are very, very good actors, and they may be, incredibly talented stage actors or film actors, but they just don't really have the knack of dubbing, matching these stupid little lip flaps that are already there, that are sometimes so crazy, because on a really high-end project, like the Studio Ghibli project, that's a prelay show where they record the dialogue and then they animate to match the mouth flaps. But stuff that's shown on TV in Japan, Japanese TV anime, that is done super low budget, super fast. I'm saying super low budget. It's not the kind of budget. I mean, it still costs thousands or tens of hundreds of thousands of dollars to make an episode, but it's not a Studio Ghibli budget. And recording studios in Japan, crazy expensive. So those lip flaps are not animated to match anything, but there is kind of a knack, and that is something that I don't know that you can really work on it. I guess if you can, maybe on your home computer, iPad, laptop, whatever, iPhone, whatever device you're using, if you can practice, maybe, I don't know how you do this, but you guys are very clever, removing the vocal tracks and dubbing in your own tracks to practice, just to see if you're hitting those. I mean, if it's already dubbed, then you already have a script, so you can work with that. There's something to be said for mic technique, but it's fairly straightforward. I mean, because you're not, like right now I have to hold this microphone. When you're in the studio, it's on a mic stand, and also it'll have, usually I call it the mic condom. I know that's not really what it is, but there's that little, that was loud. The fuzzy thing that goes over it, and then on top of that, there'll be this little screen. One of the brand names is Popper Stopper, and so I call them all Popper Stopper, even though I know it's a brand name, Popper Stopper, TM. Right, so there's a lot of equipment going on there, so you don't have to worry quite as much about your and all that kind of stuff. But I still really do think that the most important things really are cold reading and improv. Specifically for anime voice acting, mostly. Cold reading is obviously very important for other kinds of voice acting as well, but if you're doing a 30-second radio commercial, the copy is so short, and by the time you're doing it, yeah, sometimes they change the copy a little bit while you're recording, but not that much. Breath control, yeah, I would say that can be important, if you happen to have a particularly long piece of dialogue that you have to deliver, although honestly, that comes up very seldom. I would say that's not something that I feel like I'm constantly coming up against, because most of it's dialogue. I say one or two sentences, you say one or two sentences, there's not a whole lot of monologue stuff going on, and in the case of things where there's narration, since it's voiceover and you're not matching any lip flaps, you can actually stop and just pick up where you left off, so that's fantastic. But obviously, there are things that are important, just like for any other acting. Diction. I think that just, general background in various acting classes is very, very helpful, in any form of acting, whether it's voice acting or stage acting. And I keep coming to things that I don't know if you can teach or not, but, having a good ear and being able to hear yourself objectively. I remember many, 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 many years ago when Amanda Wynn was directing at ADV. This is like over 15 years ago. But someone sent in a tape, a demo voice tape. And she was listening to it, and she thought, this guy's got a pretty interesting voice. He's not bad. And then, after she was listening to, a few different clips on there, realized that this guy thought he was doing impressions. So when she just thought he had an interesting voice, that kind of piqued her interest, where like, oh, maybe this guy could come in and audition for something. But then when she realized he thought he was doing impressions of people, like, I don't know, I didn't hear it, but he thinks he's doing an Arnold Schwarzenegger impersonation. It's like, oh no, you were not. So then she realized he has a bad ear. He can't really hear that he's doing the worst Arnold Schwarzenegger impersonation in the world. So if he can't hear that it's that bad, you don't want to call him in. So I don't know how to teach that though. Yeah.
What's your favorite genre of anime, either in general or that you can play in live?
I enjoy science fiction, so I do enjoy many of these science fiction anime. Science fiction, fantasy. Not a big horror fan, so I did not really watch Gantz or Alpenlied, Hellgirl. I was in these things, but I did not watch them. But science fiction, and I like a lot of the comedies, like I said, Excel Saga and Azumanga Daioh. I know that for the purposes of the release that we worked on, we did change almost everything in it, but Shin-Chan, I love Shin-Chan. The wacky comedies I do enjoy, and science fiction type of stuff. Yeah.
I know the world was kind of small, but what was it like working on One Piece?
Oh, on One Piece, yeah. I played, if anybody's seen One Piece, I was Nojiko, who is Nami's sister. There's the story arc when they go back to Nami's home island. And I was in about 10 or 12 episodes, but I mean comparatively to the vast expansiveness that is One Piece, it's pretty minor, although I do have 3 Nojiko figures.
That's awesome.
Yes, it is awesome indeed. I think that's pretty much all the Nojiko figures that exist. It might even be 4, but I have all of them, which is fantastic. No, that was really fun to do that. I mean, for one thing, it's One Piece, so it's kind of a big deal. And I got to play Lucy's sister. In fact, just a few months ago, I guess it's been several months ago now, but I was recording something, like some kind of Nojiko flashback. That had a lot of really dramatic stuff in it. That really did. I appreciated getting to go and be part of that.
That's my favorite arc of the whole series. So
I understand that particular story arc has a big following. And I don't know if it's just because it's early in the series or what, but anyway, I really liked doing it. And I got action figures, yay!